If a tornado comes, I got nowhere to go. I will literally be running down the street somewhere just to find some place to run into. There's a tornado on the ground, large and dangerous, reported with a lot of debris. So apparently homes have been hit southwest of here. I've called several times. Nobody's answering the door. Like, I can't find anybody. They couldn't speak English. And oh my God, it smelled so good in there. It smelled so good to a hungry truck driver who's been on the road a while. Fish, 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 fish. I'm hungry for sushi now. I love sushi. I love sushi. I wish I could communicate with these people, but you're like, sushi, yeah. Bonus for delivery and putting up with your butts. I'm sitting in TYE, Tom Young Edward, TYE, Texas, and that is just to the west of Abilene. I am in a state of wonderful ambivalence. Seatbelt. I am in a... There we go. I am in a state of wonderful ambivalence this morning. Guys, I have had 3,200 miles this week. Once I get to Arlington this morning, it will be completing my 3,200 miles so far on this week's pay period. And I already have a pre-plan for another 800 miles going to Indianapolis from Lancaster, Texas on Sunday. That's 4,000 miles. And yeah, even though it'll be delivered like Tuesday morning, so it's really pushing the pay period, but I just barely got 4,000 miles in. So on the one hand, I am ecstatic. On the other hand, with trying to juggle YouTube, stock trading, like everything else that I do, it's just like, there's no time because I need an extra 2 or 3 hours, somewhere on my day that I can work on this stuff. And unfortunately, I've stayed moving so much, there's no time to do any of that. So it's been a little bit of a juggling act, but it's a happy one because 4,000 miles, I am so ecstatic.
After 900 feet, turn left onto South Access Road. After 800 feet, keep left and then enter the highway towards I-20 East.
This thing is actually talking to me this morning. She refused to talk to me all day yesterday. And I had nothing against her. I had no hard feelings. She just wouldn't talk to me.
Now keep left and then enter the highway.
This is the way to do it. I'm telling you. 4 a.m., 3 to 4 a.m., yeah, hit the road. Unless you're in some place like Wyoming where you got to worry about animals and things jumping out in front of you. But other than that, 4 a.m., 3 a.m., this is the time to drive, especially if you're in a city area. In the countryside like we were yesterday, yeah, I get it. It's probably better to drive in the day. Unless you want to see UFOs. If you want to see UFOs, then drive at night. But it is so much less stress, especially in LA, Dallas. Dallas isn't all that bad if you can hit the times right. One thing we have going for us this morning is it's the weekend. It's Saturday. So even though there will still be traffic in Dallas, and quite a bit of it, it's not as bad as during the week. So to have a pre-plan for the weekends, where I'm going to beat the traffic early Sunday morning, traffic streets should be fairly dead in Dallas Sunday morning. I mean, within reason. And, got a nice load heading to Indianapolis and driving over the weekend. I like this. This is nice.
Geronimo, Oklahoma. We've got damage in Abilene this morning. We're hearing around South 7th Street. Multiple homes have been damaged as well as other structures. We want to get live with our storm tracker, Charles Peak, who is there witnessing the damage and has been tracking this tornado. All right, tell us what you know. What's the scene look like there in Abilene?
I was tracking it from the south and tracked it up north of Abilene and came back, saw an 18-wheeler turned over on Interstate 20. And then as we got a little further south here, we've got multiple buildings and homes damaged, vehicles damaged, and I'm still trying to get around to see all the different areas of the damage.
Don't you just love how you get to a place to deliver and you're there like early, but there's no place to check in? There's not even a dock. There's like these little garage door things that are all locked up, and then so I walked outside. I was like, I'm gonna find a doorbell or something. Do a sign, truckers ring doorbell. No, there's nothing. Now I do see pallet jacks and I see wads of trash and I see some pallets sitting out here, so I know they do unloading back here somewhere, but everything's locked up. Like, nobody's answering the phone. Their mailbox is full. I tried calling them. RTI has as much information as I do on this load and how to get a hold of these people. So the front is just a normal grocery store storefront. This whole building belongs to the grocery store that I'm delivering to. I did see a guy pop his head out and pop back in, so I'm hoping they realize I'm here and I'm their truck. Everything's locked up, so there's no way to get a hold of. Now I just wait. I just wait patiently with little Bunny.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Well, you're standing in the corner like you're standing on dry land.
Oh my god, I wish I would have had a call recorder working on my iPhone, because that was hilarious. I just called the broker because delivery's supposed to be between 7 and 2. So there's supposed to be someone here as early as 7 a.m. I got here at 7 a.m. My appointment time's not until 8. I've called several times between 7:30 and 8:10. Nobody's answering the door. Like, I can't find anybody. So I call the broker and she couldn't even pronounce the name of this place. I know, right? Like, I can't pronounce the name of this place, but nobody can say that name. So yeah, the broker only has the phone number to the place. Nobody's answering the phone. According to the broker, she advises hang tight till, after 9, see if somebody comes out for you. That's all you can do, and hope that somebody, unloads you. If not, just call us back and we'll go from there on what to do with this load. I can't wait another day to deliver this load because I got a super early morning delivery tomorrow, or pickup tomorrow morning. So, oh yeah, and in the meantime, we have severe weather and tornadoes, like just to our east, or just to our west, and they're coming this direction. So, if a tornado comes, I got nowhere to go. I will literally be running down the street somewhere just to find some place to run into.
Why would you look outside yourself when you had all of the world inside?
And it's now almost 9:30 in the morning, and I have tried to call over and over and over and over. They're a retail, grocery store, right? So they're supposed to be open on Saturday, 9 to something, 7 days a week. So nobody's answering. I am sitting here. There is a tornado on the ground, large and dangerous, reported with a lot of debris. So apparently homes have been hit southwest of here, and it's slowly migrating in this direction. So I really don't want to be sitting in a back dock where all the doors are locked up. Oh my god. The joys of being an OTR truck driver. I'm trying to make good use of my time. Edit videos, work on things for you guys. Bring you into my crazy life. Right, little thumper? Right, little thumper? It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm finally getting unloaded. So I was watching my mirror. I called the broker back and they were trying to track somebody down to get him out here because everything was locked up back here. Well, all of a sudden I noticed a reefer truck, like a box truck, pull up behind me and I see a forklift unloading him where I was sitting the whole time. So I'm like, this ain't right. How do you unload him? I've been sitting here for hours. Nobody even checks on my load. So I walk up to the guy. He happens to be a vendor and he unloads the truck himself. So the process is he comes here and, you know, he opens his doors and goes inside, gets the forklift, and he's like self-serve. So, but at least the guy could speak perfect English for once. So, and I'm not hating like at all. Like I've told Jordan on the phone, like I could totally understand it if like, you know, Asian or Chinese family or whatever, you know, this is that owns this place. You know, I could understand if they came over here and, you know, are trying to learn English and, you know, you only have so many that understand English. Like, I'm cool with that personally. But have somebody that can speak English, because at least that guy did. He confirmed. He's like, yes, this is the right place. Confirm the name. He says, you go in there and check in. So I went in there and there's a fish section. There's like fish tanks. Like there's a back room where they do like fish filleting and stuff. Like they have live fish, like giant fish in the fish tank. So they're like swimming around and they're like yanking them out and like chopping the heads off. You know, I'm like, oh boy, I'll sit back here. So they're like doing their thing. And so I kind of pop my head back out because they start pointing the other direction. So I come back out into the warehouse and the vendor's like, I think they're in the cooler. I'm like, in the cooler? Okay, maybe the employee's working in the cooler or whatever, and I'll catch the manager there. So I go in there, and there's a little lady in there, and she's boxing stuff up. And so anyway, I'm like, I have trucker, I have a load for you guys. And she just looks at me like no. So then she disappears. Somebody else comes out. They couldn't speak English, so they looked at me. They were just like, there, go there. So I'm like, okay, I go there. That's fine. I have a direction. I can deal with finger pointing like direction, as long as you're not pointing at me or in my face. So I go that direction, which is back to the fish area. So I go back there and I'm like, truck driver, I have a load. Semi truck. Like, I need unloaded. And then they started pointing up towards the grocery store, like the inside of the grocery store, towards the front, and said, front. So I walked through the grocery store because the only door to go up front was through the grocery store. So I'm in there and people are doing their Saturday morning shopping. Nobody can speak English. And oh my God, it smelled so good in there. It smelled so good to a hungry truck driver who's been on the road a while. Oh my God, that Asian or Chinese food smelled amazing. Amazing. I bet it is amazing. So anyway, I go through the store. I'm like, excuse me, you know, going through people. Finally make it up to the front. And there's a front like office desk. I used to work, my first job was at a grocery store, Save-A-Lot grocery store in Missouri. And so it looked like the same setup. So I was like, okay, there's probably an office up front. It's like the same cookie cutter setup as my first grocery store I worked in. So I had that direction. There's nobody in the little office like area where you can get like money orders and stuff. It's like the management / office. Nobody's there. So there's a little gal at the counter next to it, which is like a checkout. And I'm like, truck driver, I have load. And she's like, I'm like, truck driver, I have delivery for you guys. And she finally points at the office, and I'm like, there's nobody in the office. So after several minutes, she goes back and finds somebody. They come out, and they said, oh, well, you need to be at the warehouse, not at, you know, the grocery store. So I'm like, okay, what warehouse building am I going to have to drive to in town that I'm going to have to go find? Thankfully, somebody else walked up and I'm like, well, how do I get to this warehouse? I was getting ready to pull up Google Maps. I found, guys, if you pull up Google Maps on satellite view and just point, especially if there's a language barrier. We're here, where do I need to go? And then they'll just point like where you need to go, so I know how to navigate. So as I'm doing that, somebody else walks up, another employee who can't speak English, and he hands him some keys and my paperwork and says, here, and points, like, take her back there. So I'm like, okay, I'll follow him. So I followed him into the warehouse where there's another person that couldn't speak English really. And so they're all back there talking in another language that I can't understand. And they've got my paperwork. So I'm like, okay, I hope somebody knows what's going on. Because I've confirmed the address. I've confirmed it with a third-party vendor who could speak perfect English and said, this is the right place, you're here. So I'm like, everything matches, right? But nobody can, I don't know what's going on. So they just walk off. And I'm just standing in the warehouse, like, all alone. I'm like, where are they going? So I walked around the corner and I see another guy who's opening these double metal doors. There's no dock. There's just 2 double metal doors that open. And so I'm like, oh, okay, there's the back alley where I'm parked. So that's when I said, I'm parked out there. And they're like, oh my God, are you serious? I hope they understand what's going on here. They've got my paperwork now. So I walk out, and then he walks out with me, the guy that couldn't speak English, and I pointed my truck and like, bring it over here. And he's like, yeah, bring it over here. So I just lined up like next to the door, as you guys saw, and they're taking a pallet jack and just rolling the pallets to the back and then offloading it with a forklift. So thankfully, the one guy who could speak very broken English, he did come back with my paperwork before they even opened my doors. He came back with my paperwork. It was already signed, and I think it even says have a nice day on it. And it was already signed, and it says delivered in full, and he signed it. And then he said, give us 20. I'm like, 20 minutes? Yes, give us 20 minutes. And so I'm like, okay, I'm good with that. And then a forklift came out and they're unloading me. So that is my crazy morning. Yes, this is what you deal with as a driver. You gotta wander through. I now know every inch of that grocery store. Like, I'm telling you guys, if a tornado comes, which is highly likely today because there's already been a large and damaging tornado on the ground, I now know exactly where I need to go and run to inside that warehouse because they got all kinds of coolers and I've seen every one of them. Hell, I may even hang out with a dead headless fish. That might be a better spot. I don't know. Fish. I'm hungry for sushi now. I love sushi. I wish I could communicate with these people, but you're like, sushi, yeah, bonus for delivery and putting up with your butt sitting out here in the alley. Leave me sitting in the back alley. Let him finish unloading me. I've already got my paperwork, so it'll just be a wave goodbye. I'm happy. My paperwork's signed. I'm thrilled. So, have at it. It's their load. There's a truck stop just down the road that's normally cram-packed full, but being that it's the daytime, even though it is Saturday, I'm hoping mid-morning I still can find a spot to get parked. And then get this, my next pickup tomorrow morning is literally the street over from the truck stop. It's like behind the truck stop. So if I can just get there today, I'll have a safe spot to get a shower, take shelter if there's a tornado or a bad storm, literally be around the corner from my pickup tomorrow. And then I can head to Indianapolis where I can finally get routed for home time. So anyway, guys, that's a little bit of my crazy CDL OTR life of a driver out here on the road. But as I told Jordan, I am so thankful, like, no regrets on getting this load. Like, despite the trouble, I'm sitting at like 4,000 miles this week after I get to Indianapolis on one pay period. 4,000 miles. Oh my God, that's incredible. So I have no complaints. I had a good load to Texas from Cali, and then I got a good load to Indianapolis from Texas. So this truck driver is happy. It's just hassles we deal with. Okay guys, so this is crazy. You won't believe it. So I ran into another fan that started, I heard somebody hollering, hey, hey, behind me. So I looked around and he was walking across the parking lot. He's like, oh my God, I was just watching your video. And he holds up his phone. He's literally watching American Truckers. And he's got one of my videos up. And so I can't find parking. This place is full. I can reserve parking, but they're wanting me to do it through the app, and it's kind of a mess. The app's not working. So as luck would have it, he has a 1 o'clock delivery that they've got to make, and then they've got to hit the road or pick up or something. So he said I can have his spot. I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? So he's over here holding his spot for me to pull around. Then he's going to park along the curb somewhere, and I can have his spot for the night. Oh my God, that is so cool. I think you said his name is Tommy. You're awesome. You rock. And he's got a Volvo. You can't beat that. You gotta love the Volvos. Oh, you are awesome. Yeah, but I'm sorry, trucker. This is my spot. My spot. I had some generous guy named Tommy donate it. Just happened to be at the Pilot Flying J. I refuse to call it a Flying J because even though they're the same company, it's Pilot. Like, I went inside to look for a salad, and they're like, well, I know it's technically Pilot Flying J, but we don't offer the same things as Flying J. I'm like, really? Really? They don't even have cold food or anything. Anyway, they do have armed security here, which I love. And so I ran this parking lot. There are no spots at all. And like any spots that looked open were bobtail parked in it. So they didn't have special bobtail parking. Anyway, so I couldn't find a spot, circled around. There are some reserved spots, but every time I ask about reserved spots, they say go to the app, use the Flying J app. But the app requires you sync your card, rewards card to the app, right? My rewards card says error, wrong, like invalid number. It's an old card, so it's probably not registering in the system for some reason. Anyway, so as I pull around to the fuel island and I'm walking inside to go talk to the dust people and say, is there any way I can just pay you guys? I will give you money, lots of money if you want. So I can have a spot. I just need a spot for one night because my pickup's like right around the corner in the morning, early morning. I just need a spot for the night. Please, I will pay you. I will bribe you. Anyway, as I'm getting out to walk inside and do that, in front of the fuel islands, I hear, hey, somebody hollers, hey, hey, several times. So I turn around, it's literally a YouTube fan, and he is literally watching American Truckers videos. As he's walking up with his phone, he's like, look, I am literally watching your videos, and you roll in, and I'm like, no, there's no way that's her. So he comes out, introduces himself, and they happen to be leaving. As you can see right there, they're getting ready to pick up a load here in a few minutes, here in about an hour or so. So he offered, he's like, if you're looking for a spot, we'll give you our spot. It's closed front up by the door. He's like, I will give you our spot, and then we'll go pick up our load and hit the road and do our thing. So I'm like, oh my God, you are amazing. You're amazing. So I think his name is Tommy, if I remember right. I'm bad with names. Hopefully I'm not butchering it, but thank you so much. You are awesome. See, Thumper thanks you too. Woohoo! Hey, how's it going?
It's just
too with you.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Various people.
Why would you look outside yourself when you had all of the world inside?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Huge thanks to both of these fans. You guys were so amazing. I was so desperate for a spot, and boom, there it was. You guys rock. Drive safe out there.
Yeah, your heart is a sun, and it shines as it opens.
Now it's time for the famous truck stop showers. I figure even though it's busy today, and it is the weekend, so I may get screwed, but it is the middle of the day. Usually I see a lot more guys taking showers in the evening, so I got my shower bag down here with all my makeup stuffs in it.
Your bones are the earth, and they sing with the mountains.
Well, your bones are the earth, and they sing with the mountain.
Puro pela uma wasta